I want you to do something for me right now. I want you to stand up, push your chair back, plant your feet firmly on the floor, stand up straight. If you are an average-sized adult, the top of your head is roughly 1.7 or 1.8 meters off the ground. You feel normal. You feel the weight of your body. You feel the air conditioning or the heat in the room. You feel safe. But I am here to tell you a fact that sounds completely impossible, a fact that sounds like a conspiracy theory or magic or something from a science fiction movie. But it is a fact that is written in the standard textbooks of physics, including the legendary lectures of Richard Feynman. Right now, as you stand there, there is a 200-volt potential difference between the top of your head and the soles of your feet. Read that again. 200 volts. Let's put that number in perspective. If you live in the United States, the wall socket in your house is 110 volts. If you stick a metal fork into that socket, it will shock you. It will burn you. It could stop your heart. If you live in Europe or Asia, the wall socket is 220 volts. That is even deadlier. That is enough electric pressure to kill a human being instantly. So here's the mystery that should be making you sweat right now. If you are standing in a 200-volt field, why aren't you dead? Why don't you feel a massive shock every time you stand up from the dinner table? Why doesn't your hair stand on end? Why doesn't the air crackle around your ears? You are walking through a high-voltage minefield every single day of your life, and you don't even feel a tingle. Today, we are going to dive into the mystery of atmospheric electricity. We are going to open Feynman Lectures Vol II, Chapter 9, and we are going to discover that the Earth is not just a rock floating in space. It is a machine. It is a giant electrical component, a spherical capacitor that is humming with energy. We are going to find out that you are a living wire connecting the sky to the ground, and we are going to solve the puzzle of why the battery of the Earth doesn't run out. To understand this, we have to stop thinking of electricity as something that only lives inside wires. We have to start thinking of it as a fluid that fills the air. Let's look at the setup. Imagine the Earth, a giant blue marble. The ground, the dirt, the ocean, the pavement is electrically conductive. It is full of water and minerals, and the ground has a charge. It is covered in a blanket of electrons. The Earth is negative. Now look up. Look at the sky. If you go up about 50 kilometers, 30 miles, you hit a layer of the atmosphere called the ionosphere. This is where the air gets so thin and the radiation from the sun gets so strong that the atoms are ripped apart. The electrons are knocked off. The gas becomes a plasma of ions. Because it is full of ions, it conducts electricity perfectly. And the ionosphere has a massive positive charge. So, look at the geometry. You have a negative ball, Earth, inside a positive shell, ionosphere. In between them, you have the lower atmosphere, the air we breathe. Air is an insulator. It resists the flow of electricity. This is exactly how you build a capacitor. A capacitor is just two metal plates separated by an insulator. You store energy in the electric field between the plates. The Earth is a giant planetary capacitor. Because there is a plus up there and a minus down here, there is an electric field. The field lines point downward. They start in the ionosphere and they crash down into the ground. How strong is this field? Feynman gives us the number. Near the surface of the Earth on a nice sunny day, the voltage gradient is about 100 volts per meter. Gradient means slope. Think of a hill. If you walk up the hill, you gain height. If you walk up the atmosphere, you gain voltage. For every meter you climb, the potential increases by 100 volts. At your ankles, 0.1 meters, the voltage is 10 volts. At your waist, 1 meter, the voltage is 100 volts. At the top of your head, 2 meters, the voltage is 200 volts. If you stood on a ladder at 3 meters, it would be 300 volts. So the voltage is real. It is measurable. You can literally take a voltmeter, put one probe in the ground and one probe in the air, if it's a specialized electrometer, and measure it. So back to the question, why aren't you being electrocuted? To answer this, we have to look at what you are made of. You are not made of air. You are not made of rubber. You are a bag of salt water. Your blood is salty. Your tissues are wet. In the language of physics, you are a conductor. You are a decent wire. Now, what happens when you put a conductor into an electric field? This is one of the most important rules in electromagnetism. A conductor is always at the same potential. Think about a copper wire. If you connect one end to a battery, the electricity flows instantly to the other end. The voltage equalizes across the whole wire almost instantly. You can't have one end of a wire be 100 volts and the other end be 0 volts for very long. The current will flow until they match. When you stand on the earth, your feet touch the ground. The ground is defined as 0 volts. Because you are a conductor, your feet connect your legs, your torso, and your head to the ground. Your body shorts out the electric field. The 0 volts from the ground travels up through you. So even though the air at the level of your nose is at 170 volts, your nose itself is at 0 volts. You have created a distortion in the field. Imagine the electric field lines as rain falling straight down from the sky. Now imagine you open a giant umbrella. The rain curves around the umbrella. It doesn't hit the space under it. Your body acts like that umbrella. The electric field lines that were supposed to pass through the space where you are standing, they get bent. They crash into the top of your head. They crash into your shoulders. They cannot penetrate inside your body because your body pushes them out. You are creating a Faraday cage of skin and water. Inside your body, the electric field is 0. Outside your body, the electric field is warped because there is no difference in voltage across your heart. Your left side is 0V. Your right side is 0V. No current flows across your heart. That is why you don't die. You don't die because you are part of the ground. You are an extension of the earth sticking up into the sky. You are a lightning rod. But this leads to an even weirder realization, a realization that makes you rethink your relationship with the sky. If the electric field lines are crashing into your head and the field lines carry charge, does that mean electricity is flowing into you? Yes. Feynman calculated it. Right now, as you sit there, there is a tiny invisible current of electricity flowing from the sky, landing on the top of your head, traveling down through your skull, your spine, your legs, and exiting into the earth. It is called the air-earth current. It is extremely small. It is measured in microamperes, picoamperes. It is so small that your nerves cannot feel it. Your nerves need milliamps to fire. This is 1 billion times weaker than that, but it is there. If you stand in an open field, you are literally acting as a wire, helping to discharge the sky. You are draining the battery of the ionosphere. And it's not just you, it's every tree, every building, every blade of grass. Anything that sticks up from the ground acts as a sharp point that attracts the field lines. The earth is leaking. The giant capacitor is discharging. The positive charge in the sky is constantly flowing down to the negative ground to neutralize it. This raises a huge problem for physicists, a problem that puzzled scientists for 100 years before Feynman and others solved it. The leak is constant. If you do the math, if you calculate the total charge of the earth and the total current flowing down, you find something disturbing. The battery should be dead. The earth is billions of years old. But the math says that this atmospheric leak should neutralize the entire charge of the planet in less than 1 hour. If you unplug the source of the electricity, the voltage of the sky would drop to 0 in about 30 minutes. The 200 volts at your head would vanish. The field would die. But it doesn't. We wake up every morning and the field is still there, 100 volts per meter, every single day. Something is recharging the battery. Something is pumping positive charge back up into the sky to keep the voltage high. Something is fighting the leak. What is powerful enough to charge the entire planet? Feynman points to the horizon. He points to the places where the weather is bad, thunderstorms. At this very moment, while you are watching this video, there are approximately 40,000 thunderstorms raging somewhere on Earth. They are happening in the Amazon rainforest. They are happening in Central Africa. They are happening over the Pacific Ocean. Lightning is striking the planet 100 times every second. We usually think of lightning as electricity coming down. We think of the bolt crashing to the ground, and that is true. Lightning does bring negative charge down. But Feynman explains that the mechanism inside the storm, the rising warm air and the falling rain, acts like a giant generator. It is a Van de Graaff generator the size of a mountain. Inside a thundercloud, there is a violent separation of charge. Ice crystals, which are light, get a positive charge and are blown to the top of the cloud by updrafts. Water droplets, which are heavy, get a negative charge and fall to the bottom of the cloud. This creates a massive dipole. the top of the cloud becomes positively charged. And because the top of the cloud is high up, near the stratosphere, it pumps that positive charge upwards. It pushes positive ions up into the ionosphere. The thunderstorm is the battery of the global circuit. It is the pump. While you are standing in the sunlight, acting as a resistor, allowing charge to leak down, the thunderstorm is acting as the source, pushing charge back up. The earth is breathing electricity. Inhale. The storms pump it up. The current goes up. Exhale. The fair weather current flows it down through you. The current goes down. It is a perfect continuous circuit. The 40,000 storms provide exactly enough amperage, about 1/800 amps total for the whole planet, to balance out the leakage from the billions of trees and people and mountains. If the thunderstorm stopped, if the weather suddenly became calm everywhere on Earth at once, the electric field would die in an hour. The 200 volts at your head would vanish. The ionosphere would discharge. And who knows what would happen to life. This connection between weather and electricity is profound. It means that the physics of electricity and the physics of weather are not two different subjects. They are the same subject. The movement of water vapor drives the electrical engine of the planet. And there is one final detail in Feynman's lecture that is worth noting. We talked about the fair weather field being 100 volts per meter. But what happens if you stand under a storm cloud? What happens if you are near the battery? The field reverses, and it gets stronger, much stronger. Instead of 100 volts per meter, it can go up to 10,000 volts per meter, and it points the other way. If you are on a mountaintop under a thundercloud, the voltage difference between your feet and your head can be 20,000 volts or more. At this level, the short circuit effect of your body starts to produce visible effects. The air around the sharp points of your body, your fingertips, your nose, your ears, starts to break down. The air molecules get ripped apart by the intense voltage. This creates a glow, a faint blue light. Sailors used to see this on the tips of their masts during storms. They called it St. Elmo's fire. If you are hiking and you hear a buzzing sound and your hair starts to stand up, that means the shield of your body is failing. It means the voltage is so high that your body can no longer short it out comfortably. The current is trying to burst out of you to connect to the cloud. That is nature's warning that you are about to become part of a lightning bolt. Run. But for now, in standing in your room, you are safe. The 200 volts is there. The current is flowing, but you are designed to handle it. You evolved inside this battery. Your cells, your nerves, your heart, they all function perfectly inside this massive planetary field. So the next time you walk outside on a beautiful cloudless day, don't just feel the warmth of the sun. Don't just feel the wind on your face. Feel the connection. Realize that there is an invisible river of energy flowing from the top of the atmosphere, crashing into your head and flowing through you into the ground. You are not just an observer of nature. You are a component in a planetary machine. You are the wire that connects the heavens to the earth. And somewhere, thousands of miles away, a thunderstorm is raging just to keep your battery charged.